Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make a start. So before I start, can I request that people put the phones on silent or vibrate, please, just so we don't get phones ringing out. Secondly, this is a meeting for the public. Everybody can have their say. However, if it starts getting rowdy, abuse, that sort of thing, I'll shut the meeting down. You are allowed to have a difference of opinions. It's a council meeting, not a parish meeting. And if you need to speak, please put your hand up. So can we please, people can disagree. That is not a problem. However, disagree with each other with respect and be civil to each other. There's no need for arguments, name callings, all that sort of stuff. So we have to have a counter for people here, so we've just counted that. Scott, while we're doing it, can you just have it so we can verify how many people are here, please? And then we've got the number. So let's make a start, ladies and gentlemen. So the notice of a parish meeting is to be held at the Community Centre, Bullenshaw Road, Hemsworth, on Thursday, 26th of September at 7 p.m. So item number 1, Lakeside and Cafe Bar. The council recently advertised a tender out of this undertaking. A decision was made in exclusion. With no minutiae published on the council's website before the decision to award a contract, we need a public consultation. That is the motion that the person who called this meeting, 7 people called this meeting, brought up. Anybody want to start?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, so as this is a parish meeting, there's only electors of the parish, so can you please state your name and that you live in Hemsworth, Fitzwilliam or Kingsley, please?
My name is Pete Cabinet and I live in Fitzwilliam.
Thank you.
The question is, has it been decided yet who's got this position at the Lakeside?
I can't discuss the actual contracts tenders. What I can say is that only one person put in. So that'll answer your question. Any more? So, Linda, we know you live in Fitzwilliam, so.
Oh, hi. Can you tell me why everything was in secret?
Not in secret, it was in exclusion, as all tenders are put into exclusion. For example, the ice cream tender is always put out and voted on in exclusion.
The tender itself, it's the tenders are, but not the decision to actually tender. That should be.
It's because it's still subject to contracts and it's business sensitive, so we cannot discuss that at the moment.
Can you tell me why the minutes are not public?
That I cannot tell you, but I will find out for you.
Can you tell me why there wasn't a public consultation?
Because the public consultation is not required.
Can you tell me who made that decision?
I think it was put to the council, and all councils voted whichever way they decided.
What was put to the council? Because we don't know. We're the public, we're in the dark. Nothing's been published.
There was a public to rent out the building area, the pub area.
So I'll go back to my question. Did the council consider doing a public consultation?
The council does not have to consider putting things to public consultation.
It's a long-term contract, substantial long-term contract. Last year, the public was consulted on whether just to keep the licence or not at the Lakeside Cafe. This is far more substantial than that.
There is other substantial contracts either. It is still a public asset. It is still owned by the public. The council are just asking somebody to run the business effectively.
Outsourcing the business.
Outsourcing the business, as we do with the ice cream tender, but nobody says anything about that, and that is a substantial contract.
No.
Yes.
It's totally different. I'm sorry, Sean.
Maxine, I think you've got your hand up just first. We obviously know you live in the area.
Can I ask what other proposals were brought to this for this instead of a tender?
No, not officially. During the as we were discussing the tender, a council just mentioned that they have some ideas. They've all been talking about it. Our councillor did send me an email that they had a little secret meeting, a little small group, sorry, not a secret, they had a small group where they was deciding what they was going to do with it. I don't know part of that was to shut down the Lakeside during the middle of the week in the quieter periods.
Can you tell me whether putting this out to tender will save actually jobs and save us money?
There
Well,
will,
last year I know we lost £100,000 at the park,
so,
and let me just finish. It was on the brink of bankruptcy. So can I ask, will this actually save our assets?
so last year, as you all, I think it was £180,000, somewhere around that thing, £188,000, that the parishioners, yourself here, out of your council tax thing paid for £180,000, that's just for the lakeside, not the water park, but just at the lakeside. With the, I need to be careful what I say, so with the tender, if successful, then that would turn that surplus, that loss into a surplus. Councils obviously know the amount, but obviously we can't say that because that's confidential as part of the contract.
But this will still say our assets instead of having...
It will save your, it'll
But
save,
if it was bankrupt, we'd lose everything.
yes, it will save your asset, and additionally, there will be no job losses because of this, this transaction. Vicky, you're the young
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was mentioned that the clerk had taken advice from HR regarding this.
So the clerk took advice from HR, they took advice from lawyers, they took advice, after council requested, they then took advice from the unions. Yes.
Right, thank you.
I can't see behind the lady, Carol?
So, 50 June or a council, 50 July or a council meeting, right, I think 12th July, regarding,
Your fault, yeah.
regarding Lakeside, councillors, councillors put objections here,
Yes?
to say, which you just said to the, nobody had any plans.
No, I didn't say that, I said we got, I said
What
we,
plans were put forward to clerk to save money for it not to go out to tender?
did you ask for, so you're, well, you went at the meeting, so this is what I understand, because obviously I don't know, because the clerk cannot discuss things between councillors. As far as I'm aware, yourself and another councillor went to see the clerk and come up with some suggestions, which included...
It was never to shut the water park, to shut it down. Also, I don't know where you got that information from.
Yourself in that meeting.
No, it wasn't.
Look on your recording.
I will look on the recording. It wasn't to shut it down.
Anyway, that's
Right.
just schematics, but
So,
yes.
we had a meeting on the 5th or 4th of July,
Yeah.
and it got adjourned. You pushed it to a vote for it to go out. The clerk stated in that meeting, it'll take some time, it'll be September before it goes out to tender. Correct?
I cannot remember that.
Right. We didn't have a meeting in August. It come back in September.
So that's...
It come back on September to accept the tenders.
It was put out, and then it comes to council to accept the tenders, that's correct.
Right.
Or review the tenders.
It wasn't procured, right?
It was procured, right?
It wasn't, Sean.
I can just go back to...
The tender has put its bid in, we've had other people have come up. Councils weren't even aware that the flat is part of this deal, and other tenders didn't know that the flat was part of this deal.
So I want to correct you on that. When I spoke about the tender, the process, of which Council Conway says, you've done a lot of work on that, it was for everything inside the green fence, which would include...
Backdoored it.
Which includes...
Backdoored it.
No.
No.
You didn't tell the other tenders that come up and inquired that the flat was in.
Councillors also knew it included the flat, because they said there's been emails where councillors, I cannot explain this meeting, but councillors expressed a concern regarding something about upstairs, and you've said that yourself in an email. I cannot say it, I cannot repeat it, but you did. I can't, for legality reasons.
The councillors didn't know until after the tender come in that the flat was part of this. We discussed in a meeting why the flat couldn't be in the tender.
So we know about it.
We discussed why the flat couldn't be in the tender and that you were coming back. So ignorant.
No, sorry, I'm thinking, not being ignorant, I'm just taking advice, but...
In the meeting, we said about the flat, you know the reasons about the flat.
Yeah.
And it was said to take legal advice.
We took
And
legal
that
advice.
come off, no, that come off HR in that meeting, you read so much out and Andrew read the other out and said, take legal advice, and you were coming back to us. It's all on video.
We said we would take legal advice.
And you would come back to
We
us.
said we'll take legal advice and progress, and we progressed because the legal advice came back.
Did Mr Dixon in today?
Sorry, you can't mention name.
So, let me tell
You can't. So, if
it's already out,
no.
you put it all over Facebook.
I've put nothing on my Facebook. What I'm going to say is if people keep preaching things like that, I will shut this meeting down. You know we can't do it.
So, you're saying it's going to save us money?
Yes.
No, it isn't.
Okay.
As a council, we spent 1.2 million last year. Am I wrong?
No, I'm no, yeah.
Am I wrong?
No.
So go on then, what are you laughing at?
I'm waiting for you to ask the question.
How much precept do we get?
800 and something thousand.
860.
Yeah.
So I have spent 1.2 million.
Because we're spending that much money on food, there's no going to waste.
We spent 81,000 on food, and I've got that confirmed by Clark
You
today.
can have that confirmed by Clark.
I've had it confirmed by Clark today. We made 160. Last year, Lakeside made £164,000 and they spent 81,000. So it made 80,000. So how can you rent it out? It's making a loss because of the wages.
So all the money you save there, so we're not including the community centre money, we're not including the playground
So tell me
money.
how you're going to pay these wages.
How the precept, the people are going to be gainfully employed.
So we're still going to be down.
No, we're not going to make, we're not going to be in profit as much as we could be, but we have said we will not lose jobs out of this process.
We will not lose jobs, but we have still to pay them wages.
Yes, we do, and they will be.
What the Lakeside is subsidising here.
We're still making money from the cafe, from the beach shop, from Playworld,
From what cafe?
from the beach shop, sorry, not the cafe, the beach shop.
Well, when is that going to be open?
Exactly, we're going to improve it all. Can I just come back, there's other people wanting questions, there's Mr Bacon over there.
I'm not standing up. You know.
Ah, just alright, yeah, no problem. And when I've done that, I'll call to Donna over there. You are?
Right, here's the show.
I'm all full of yours.
Right, at last council meeting, I asked you about the tender for the Lakeside Cafe and Bar. The flat was not mentioned. You never mentioned anything about that flat in that meeting. And I want to know why.
With the
All of us, come on, Sean.
With the
I want to know why.
Let me answer then. With the greatest respect, you wasn't at the meeting when it was discussed.
Hello?
You wasn't at the meeting.
Hello? I beg to differ.
Right, I cannot start getting into discussions about things in exclusion.
Right. Last meeting, when I asked you questions about Lakeside Cafe and Bar, that flat was not mentioned. But, Sean, don't make me out to be a liar, because I'm not. The last meeting that I come back...
Can you please calm your tone down?
Listen, last meeting I had in here, I asked you, and I asked Becky, because I asked you a question, you couldn't answer me. But you passed it over to Becky. Right, the flat was never mentioned. Give me an answer, why? Well, weekend it was.
It was mentioned at
It wasn't mentioned in that meeting when I asked you, Sean. Don't tell me out and make me out to be a liar, because I'm not.
Can you please calm down? I'm speaking respectful to you.
Yeah, I'm speaking respectful to you, but you're trying to make me out to be a liar.
No.
And I'm not. That's my question.
Okay.
Answer the question what I've asked you.
I've answered the question. The answer is, it was discussed. People knew it was about the park. You was not at the first meeting. I can no longer speak about things in exclusion. Donna, would you like to come in there, please?
I'll bring it to the next meeting. Tell me that.
Please do.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, we've heard a lot from councillors tonight, so it seems that councillors are quite against this decision. As per your standing orders to raise an objection, have any special motions been raised against this, or is this the parish council meeting? Is that what this is for?
I don't know. So again, yeah, I'm not sure what I'm saying. No.
Questions being put into the council by members of the public, and that's why we're here, and in fact that's why we've all come.
No, I'm asking though, if you're against
So-
it, have you put a special motion? I'm just interested if you're putting that motion in.
So, as far as we know,
Sorry,
as far as we
is
know,
this a
that's
meeting
not
for
true.
parish, or is it a meeting for you to tell us what you think about it? Because it feels like the councils are dead against it. You've got people here to just listen to you. That's what a special motion is for. Shaw. That's how you get somebody in front of the council. Again, explaining motion.
I think Carol had her hand up first, and there's a gentleman in the far corner.
One question from a member of public. Soft play.
That will be up to the person who has the tender. And you see, you keep saying members of the public, but, and let me finish. But you're not passing these questions on until just now. So it seems like you're holding all these questions. You keep saying all the public. Everybody I speak to have all been in favour of this.
And everybody we spoke to them.
But I don't, but I move around, I go about, I don't live in...
You don't live in England?
No, I don't live, I was born and bred in, I spent more time in Fitzwilliam than I do in Hemsworth.
It's not about us, Sean. I can answer the question for the lady.
I've answered it. It's up to the person who's got the tender. However, as you very well know, and all the people here should know, there was extensive damage done to the soft play area. So it's all had to come down anyway. Ian, your hand up.
I've seen you send it, come on.
I've just said it's up to the person who's got it. I don't know how clear I can be.
Regarding the cafe bar,
Yeah.
I don't know all of the details, but when the windsurfer closed down, there was a public consultation in 2009, which the public were asked if they wanted it to change into a cafe and a soft play area. If public consultation was asked for then, why can't we have a public consultation now?
Can I answer that by asking you questions yourself to Mr. Conway?
Oh,
No, well, listen, so I'll just answer one at a time. So, when the public wanted a forensic audit, and yours says no, why wasn't there a public consultation? At this time, Mr. Conway, and he's not wrong, said he was duly elected, democratically elected to make decisions on the council, and he can't keep putting things to tender. Something similar you said yourself. If they fix what I mean, not regarding tenders, but you said so.
It's fair enough, but
As the council, as the public been brought, as the council put to tender about changing the things regarding Fitzwilliam Centre? No. As the council put to tender about Club Terrace? No.
no.
But it needs a council. It's some community asset.
Well, but there should be. I perfectly agree that there should be more consultations, but considering the fact that at that particular time there was a consultation asked for, and it went to public, and they said, yeah, let's open it up as a cafe and a soft play. This is a substantially expensive property, and the public.
You mean expensive?
Well,
It's still owned by the public.
I know it's never going to make a profit. It's never ever going to make a profit. But we can.
So we can turn not making any money into a surplus.
Right.
Excuse me, gentlemen, can you please keep quiet, please?
Can I, in that case, when you say about making money, can I make the public aware, please, regarding a few figures?
You definitely can, yeah.
Our income was published for July 24. Drinks that were purchased down at the lakeside was £9,849. Food that was bought was £10,005. Carveries made £1,372. Upstairs bar made £13,072. Now I know that is income. We've got to buy products to sell, okay? Even if that was over £22,000.
Excuse me. Can you please stop shouting out, please? You've got to stop shouting out. I will come to you when people stop speaking.
Even if we work on a 33% profit margin, that means that we made on that particular month over £7,000.
Correct. So on that, so being open and transparent, can you give me the figures between September and May?
September and May, which way?
Pick a year, don't matter.
No.
Because what did it do here? It lost money.
Yeah, it's lost money every year.
We
lost money every year.
So we cannot cherry pick 2 months of a year. Maxine,
I'm just looking at. I've got another question. When was it decided to put this tender out?
when the council decided that...
When the council, not before.
There was no decision.
And I was just wondering if it was decided by a few select councillors in a,
No, we don't know that.
in a meeting downstairs.
No.
Whilst I was upstairs doing
So,
a bingo
right.
a couple of months ago.
That meeting...
I know I wasn't invited to that.
You wasn't invited.
No.
That meeting was a specific reason. Andrew knows the reason, and it was nothing to do with that. It was actually to do with the next questions. That's all that was. And it was nothing was decided about the tender. Maxine, you had your hand up?
I'd just like to state that it has gone to public because I put it on Fitzwilliam side, and there's quite a lot of people in Fitzwilliam and Kingsley agreeing to this.
I agree.
Can I just say that the people I spoke to yesterday were council friends with, and the people I've spoken to are all for it and want something and somewhere decent, and they can't wait for it to happen. And all this, can I just say, excuse me, can I just say all this where people are slating others and putting things on Facebook is just causing some people to have serious upset and mental health issues. And I know there's some people, well yeah, but there's some ex-councillors who went for that reason. Pardon?
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, there's some ex-councillors who were doing that who accused others of causing them to have mental health issues. So they ought to take a leaf out of their own book.
Kathy?
Can I just say that we're hearing a lot about transparency tonight from certain people. Where was the transparency when we were taking £100,000 out of reserves and nobody knew about it, and that included councillors? Where was the transparency then?
What's that got to do with Lakeside?
So there's lots of issues and things with transparency. What people don't know, well, so I'll explain to the public, when there is a meeting, the chair and the deputy chair of the meetings discuss the agenda the week before with the clerk. That meeting, I spend most of that asking, can we take that out of exclusion? Can we take this out of exclusion? We need to start taking that out of exclusion. And there is legal reasons why things can't come in exclusion. As soon as we can tell you things, we will tell you things. Such as, and that's the next item, we'll go to the next item, I'll bring that up. Any more discussions regarding the tender? Linda?
Thank you, Phil. Yeah, when the invitation to tender was advertised, my daughter contacted the clerk to obtain details because she's in hospitality with a partner, and it could have been an opportunity for her. In that pack that she was given, in the invitation to tender, there was no mention of the flat being involved.
Okay. So, it's the same building. When you...
Can I just finish?
Well, do you want to answer your question first?
No, I've not asked my question.
Okay.
There was no mention of the lakeside involved. All that was mentioned was the water park.
I'm sorry, the lakes, no, other way around. It was the lakeside, not the water park. We're not tendering the water park out.
Well, the invitation to tender says the water park.
No, it didn't.
No, it said
Lakeside.
It
Lakeside
says
Cafe.
the water park. I'm
Okay.
sure it's factual.
So would did you say with your daughter?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
would your daughter go for a tender on the water park when she's trying to run a cafe?
Can I ask my question?
Yeah.
It's false advertising. It didn't give her enough information. Apart from that, though, it took Andrew 2 weeks before he actually sent out information. And by then, it was too late for her to actually obtain information.
So what I can tell you is...
Further information, because Andrew had put in his response, please contact me again to have...
Your name is staff, you're not allowed to name staff, sorry.
I'm not a councillor. I'm
Doesn't matter.
a commissioner. The town clerk exists. We all know the
So
town
refer...
clerk exists.
Exactly, so can you please refer it to the town clerk, because that's the legalities, please. But yes, so the town clerk...
You know,
I'm
can you stop interrupting me to ask the question?
ask the question properly, please.
So, when she put in her request for this information, she waited and she waited. She had to remind the town clerk that she put in a request. Days later, he actually responded, leaving her less than a week to actually get in a tender. That is not fair and open competition, which is supposed to comply with the procurement regulations. If it's not, you're open to challenge from my daughter.
So have you asked the question? Or are you just saying things to me? What's your question, please?
My question is, why wasn't the actual procurement process done within the regulations of the procurement?
Because it was. What I can
Oh,
also, what I can.
was it? I'm just
Excuse,
going to say
excuse
no,
me,
it wasn't.
you wanted me to stop? Can you please stop? I can also tell you that all the people who asked for the pack all got it at the same time. Yes, they did. Moving on. Anybody else? Maxine?
So, where's it's just been said today for the,
Sorry, I can hear you.
where it was stated that it was for the water park, this tender. I've just gone on Linda's page and it says cafe bar.
Thank you. So it was a cafe bar, not water park.
And that's off her own page.
Thank you. Donna, would you like to come in, please?
I've just said it's on your own page, don't you use your page.
Hemsworth Water Park cafe bar concession. There you go.
Looks like
So,
Can I just ask?
I think Maxine had a hand. Oh no, Donna, sorry. It is a Donna.
Can I just ask, is the council taking any consideration into action against false messages that are being shared online? We're having figures thrown around. The math just doesn't match. And we've got statements being put out. We're hearing things that are being said, that have been told in, they've been discussing exclusions, and they're being put on Facebook pages. Is the council once and for all going to take some action against this? Because we've got staff members that are being slated. Every single post that this person is putting on Facebook. This is going to affect someone's mental health soon. The council needs to take some action.
This is affecting someone's mental health, and I keep asking the clerk to push this.
Thank you.
Well, push it more.
And Vicky,
Can I just say,
You're not doing that when the undersell.
can we just one at a time, please?
right,
No, but I'm right. You're not doing that when the undersell due to mental health.
can I just say, if I'd waited 2 weeks for information and I wanted to be part of that tender, I would have had all my things ready, everything prepared, so that once I got my documentation or whatever it was, I could have banged it in. I would have had good planning. Yeah. Good planning.
Due diligence and that sort of stuff.
Due diligence.
Is it Pete? Tam, did you say something?
Yes. You have to wait for my clock anyway.
It is. He's running around. He's got.
Listen to some of the things that's gone on, and some things I don't think got up to do with what we're talking about to start with. But I'll tell you why I'm here, and we talk about openness and transparency. I've been a paying member, rates and what have you, in this community since the water park was built in 70. And part of that sort of thing. Can you actually shut up again?
Yeah, can you shut up again?
After the top swearing as well.
I'm not going for one.
You can't only say anything.
Hey, can we phrase the question, please?
Like I said, to be always transparent, I'm here to speak what I think and what I hear what people say. Is that how does the council think that somebody else can make it pay, else I won't take it on? Irrelevant to who's got it, I'll let it start. But why does the council think that somebody else can make it pay, but the council can't make it pay?
Because they know what they're doing and we don't. As running a cafe, a pub, that type of thing. These people.
Thousands of pounds for you to find that out over all these years.
It's going to cost us nothing because.
No. It was been refurbished, that cafe was been refurbished more times in the last 20 years than anything I know.
So to your question there, yes, it needs to be refurbished again. That's part of the tender process. The person who's taking it over will invest on the inside, on the refurbishment of it.
Well, I'm sorry, but I just can't understand the why and the way that
Isn't that the risk that the person who's tendering it out taking?
Yeah,
But not the, it's risk-free to the council. It's risk-free.
No, it's risk-free.
I think it was Vicky, then the lady there, so Vicky first. Sorry, this gentleman's had his hand up. This gentleman here. Go on.
Well, that one surface like the Titanic. It's sinking, sinking and sinking. And there's someone come along to give an helping hand to pull it back out of the water, to help everybody in the community. Doesn't make a fee, makes a few quid, as long as the council gets the money back. And that's all I've got to say. Yeah.
So the lady, I don't know your name, but I know who you are.
Hi, Leanne from Hemsworth. Just want to say, obviously you keep going on about all this big tender. The soft play area has not long since been done. Out with our money.
As I said, there was a big flood down there, and it ruined everything. So, as you know, soft plays on at
No, but I mean inside the actual cafe.
yeah, it was flooded.
Yeah.
It was flooded with storage. Right, it was flooded with storage. So let's be honest, what it was flooded with. It is not retrievable. The base plate has to come out, and everything. It's all soaked up. It would cost us thousands to
So we could
repair.
just left it to them that's going to tender it, but
And that is what's going to happen.
right. But then on to another note, as what we've just been saying about mental health with counsellors and people that get slated. Something needs to be done because it's all right until Hemsworth, like this room is. I'm not being funny to women that are on council, but for Handyman's Club, because men are the ones that don't talk. When somebody goes in, one of the councillors goes and does something, or somebody that's slated, then it's going to be yours that's going to hang your heads in shame. Or staff. Yeah,
It's the staff.
staff.
It's the staff.
Staff,
So
whatever, but whoever, it is wrong.
my view regarding, I 100% agree with you.
I am a big believer in help for mental health, like I am.
I
The
100%
Handyman's Club,
I agree with you. I was a councillor that got Handyman's Club to come here. I was the one who did all the work to get
I know
Handyman's
that's
Club.
men, but I know women do talk between themselves.
I have also
Men
tried.
don't.
I have also tried to get women's goals, but you just can't get hold of them. There's just
No,
nothing.
but I mean,
I do
women
try.
do talk with
Yes.
men don't.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, women do.
So, but I think I 100% agree with your sentiments. I don't disagree with you. We need to move on. People need to understand you can disagree without falling out. You can disagree without being detrimental. You can disagree without just being downright nasty. You can disagree. It's good to disagree. It's natural to disagree. Just do it the right way. Carol, please.
All this could have been solved by the tender coming and speaking to the public. You didn't give him that chance.
The tenders are not allowed to come and speak to the public.
That
Tender was asked. He is not allowed. The clerk said he is not allowed to come.
If that tender lets the public know what he wants to do with the water park and what he intends to do, and this could be stopped.
It's not finalised. How can we do it?
You just said it's been finalised.
No, I didn't.
The public needs to know what their intentions are with that
A
park.
a family-friendly cafe bar. So it's
Didn't you say soft play? What a question you asked me, and I said to you, oh, that's okay because Sean's moving it, so we can move that into playworld. We can't do that.
we can.
How?
How not?
So these people that do there,
Sorry? So at the minute there's things that are ideas. At the minute there are only ideas, and it's for the council to decide. One of the things that we've just we can't make decisions until all this is finalised. So I think you appreciate that. What's the point of it? There's been staff have come up with suggestions, council put suggestions. One of the suggestions, it's only a suggestion, where a quick look on the internet, you can buy one of these double, like the size of a house log cabin, 12 grand. Fill it with stuff. You could do stuff like that. We can do anything. What I will say is any money that comes from the tendering, the contract, I'm saying tender, legally it's not a tender, but we'll just call it. Any money from the tender has to legally be spent on a similar type of activity. So it's got to be spent either at the water park or at Sandygate. So it's got to be reinvested into them type of facilities on site. So reinvest it in Playwell.
So procurement rules say anything over 25,000.
Right, so what? Right, so procurement rules.
Yeah.
Right, so how much is the council giving to that person? Procurement means to spend.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't. Read the orders. You're leasing a business out. You are hiring a business out.
I'm sorry, you're wrong. Pure and simply, on this part you are wrong, and you have had this confirmed several times by the clerk.
No, no.
Clerk's
Clerk's
even just...
the clerk's even said it's been rushed. We should have had more time. So why haven't you had enough time to do it?
Why haven't told everyone else?
Exactly.
So, there was somebody down there.
To procure is to buy. They're not buying. And even so, we
They're they're doing.
Because we put it in. It's the standing order was
Same as ice-cream man.
We put.
It's same as ice-cream man. They're supplying a business.
We put that motion forward, and it's if you are buying something, you put it to public tender. That's what it says in it. We're not buying.
That were actually mine.
We are, yeah.
I'm going
Yeah, I know when we
Can I
were
just interject here? The contract will be over £30,000.
But you're still not understanding the word procurement.
No, the
Can we
contract.
just, excuse me, can you just all come through, Chair, please, instead of routing between each other?
So, would you agree that in any contract there has to be consideration from one party, both parties? So the consideration from the tender is money. The consideration
it's
from the council is a business.
It is a procurement. We are not to procure. You spend money. The council is not giving money. So
they're not giving money, no.
So
but there's consideration. It's not in the form of money. It's in the form of a business.
So the people who do
it's an asset that they're giving over that's worth more than £30,000.
They're not giving it over. Vicky, can you come in and then we're going to move on quickly? I think after Vicky, Ernie's got his hand up, then we're moving on. Go on, Vicky.
Can I just say, it sounds like sour grapes because it got voted in and some don't like it, and those who don't like it are the ones who are moaning with sour grapes.
Sorry, Ernie, this is a little bit. Kev had to put his hand up, so Kev, and I'll come back to you, Ernie, then we'll move on.
Right, I can assure you it's not sour grapes.
Right,
Got it.
no, I'm saying, can you wait?
All right. Thank you, Scott. Right, first of all, representing the prisoners is not sour grapes.
No?
Right, so there's no sour grapes from me, but I'd like to know now from you, procurement in tender was all done legally,
Yes.
and there's only one tender come in.
What do you mean only one tender come in?
There's only one tender.
Several people asked for packs. You know this, so why are you asking me? Yes.
So there's only one tender come in. Did you meet with that tender 2 weeks before you informed us?
No.
You definitely did not meet
So
with that
again,
tender.
right, I'll say this again finally for the last time. I keep explaining it. I'm not the man who went. No, I'm not the man. I'm not the man. So right, I'll be better than that. So I will say exactly what happened. As I've said before, and I replied in several emails. I was asked what the council would need to do. Sorry, will the council be interested in a tender? I stopped that person and questions. I told them what I thought the process was, but I would get back to them after checking with the clerk. I then checked with the clerk, then I told them the process. That was it. What I will also say is this tender is not a new idea. This has been battered about for years and years and years. Maxine said it in previous council. I was speaking to Tony Upson. They thought about it. The only reason they didn't do it is because the only person they got was, let's say, another big business couple in Kingsley. Previous councillors. The only reason they didn't go for it, this is not a new idea.
So you definitely did not meet the tender 2 weeks before you told us?
Because, as I said, I was
At what
approached.
about?
I was approached.
Yeah,
What you
well,
mean is- so this is how ridiculous we're getting, ladies and gentlemen. A
It's
secret
not
meeting
ridiculous.
at the water park in view of everybody there, including staff. I mean, our secret staff.
Yeah, but you're denying it happened, yet staff and members of the public have said they've seen you with it.
I'm denying it happened.
You've just denied it again now.
I'm denying there was a meeting. I met the gentleman. I met with a friend, somebody I know, who were talking to me, and he asked about it, and I said, I'll get back to you. It wasn't a meeting. It wasn't an email saying meet me here, or phone call, or anything like that.
But he's actually the only tender that's come in. Did you meet anybody else down there?
Didn't meet him. Didn't meet him.
Right, and you said you've done all your own work.
Yes.
The case study you did was of the damn what they call it.
No, I'll give you an example. No, when people are asking for how much you would expect to come in as a tender, I did say I do not know, because it is based on rateable value and beer sales.
No, you mentioned the new Miller Dam.
What I said was, because people are saying this is never done, and I did say at the time, Wakefield Council did this very successfully with New Miller Dam, and there's a lady who knows exactly about it because it's a friend or a family member.
Yeah, but
No, and what process?
Who actually had to submit a business plan and what she intended to use.
right, thank you. Can I finish then? So the case study you did. The
It's
case
a
study you did.
good case study. I've
Well,
got something
what,
there.
the example what you used is something what failed. Did you actually look for
No,
something what?
New Miller Dam is very successful.
Well, obviously it's not because they have to tender it out.
No, sorry. You know, so New Miller Dam, Kathy, please correct me if I'm wrong. So New Miller Dam, it wasn't the dam in, it was the boat house.
The cafe place.
And it
Yeah.
was empty.
Right.
It wasn't being used.
Was actually run.
And Kathy will tell you exactly what happened.
New Miller Dam was actually run by volunteers, and it opened on a Saturday and a Sunday, and all they served was coffee and cake. It was falling into disrepair, so Wakefield Council decided to tender it out. They didn't like what this council has done, put it out to tender. The people that were interested in that tender had to submit a business plan. They had to show what suppliers they were going to use, how many staff they were going to employ, everything. I've seen that because my sister-in-law actually put in a business plan for it. She was unsuccessful because she wasn't actually based in the Wakefield area. She was in the Barnsley area. And they decided to go with two girls from Wakefield. And if you actually look on their Facebook page, you can actually see what a successful business they're actually running. And they actually paid for all the renovations inside. That was part of the negotiations, and it's a successful business.
So we didn't stipulate that. However, the person who put the tender in is a local person, very local, employs local people, does a lot out of his own back for the local community. And what I can say is within the process, the bid, he has put in that there will be one event a year with a small charge at the gate, and any proceeds from the gate will go to the charity or the charities group, friends of group of the council's choice. So that's the type of person we're dealing with, somebody who has got the community at heart, and he really has. I've seen the stuff he does. So Ernie, you will ask, you had under failure, Ernie? Good luck to him.
Right, Sean, at this present moment in time, right, I'm arguing with Metropolitan District Council Tax Office about what all parishioners in Kingsley, Fitzwilliam, and most probably Hemsworth are paying towards water park. And when I get the actual thing back, the conclusion back from them, is Hemsworth Town Council going to subsidise all these parishioners, yes or no?
Come again. I'm sorry, you just baffled me with that question. So,
at this present moment in time, I'll explain it again. I am arguing with Metropolitan District Council, Council Tax Office, for all the parishioners in Kingsley, Fitzwilliam, and most probably Hemsworth. And the question was, when I get the answer back from them, the amount that goes towards water park, is HTC going to refund them, yes or no?
Right, so I think I sort of get what you're trying to get, and I think Becca's trying to explain it. So the lakeside close between 2005 to 2012. You didn't get your preset back, did you? So the answer to that is no, you won't. So I'm going to.
Now the question was,
No, we're not. Why would you?
you're not. Well, I hope our King's Hill Fitzwilliam parishioners take you to court then, that's all I can say to that.
Anyway, Donna, can you come in? Because you might make sense of that more than me.
Can I ask why this gentleman, you are a
Yeah,
councillor,
yeah.
Can I ask why that gentleman is asking Wakefield Council what Hemsworth Town Council spend on the water park?
No, I wasn't asking that.
It sounded like that.
Can I ask,
Hang on.
We pay.
Council is asking for
No, but that's
reset money back, what we pay towards the water park, when that water park belongs to us. Does that not try making it that Wakefield takes that water park off us?
It sounds like it to me.
Because in my opinion, that's what this lot is
That's
after.
very
They are asking us.
I'll come back to you.
But to my point, Wakefield won't know what Hemsworth spend on what part of this precept goes to Hemsworth.
No.
What part? That's Hemsworth Town Council.
Yeah.
The council that this gentleman is a member of.
And as I said, the budgets are there, and on the cafe area we spent more than £80,000 last year. We always lose £80,000, if not more, every year, and that's been the case for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. So, Carol, then cafe, then we're going to move on to the next part of the meeting. Carol?
What I'm trying to say here is we pay council tax
Yeah.
to maintain and the water park and other places.
We'll still be maintaining.
We've just had an increase of 8% in the council tax.
What we all voted for?
Yeah. What the public are wanting to know, with this business now going out to tender, well, council tax are going up next year to subsidise what we're missing.
You're not missing nothing, you're getting a better service. You're getting a better service.
I have no doubt it will be a better service. But where are you
So you're getting better value for money.
We will still be spending 1.2 million. So where's this money going to come from? Are you going to put council tax up?
That will be budgeted, and council will vote on that at the appropriate time, as you well know.
How can they predict what you're going to spend?
You can.
I just don't understand that bit. I mean, you know you've got 800 grand.
Well, you predicted what we're going to say, so.
Why can they predict that you are going to get? Predict another 400 grand.
Why can you predict how much we're losing?
So, Kathy, I agree. Kathy, can you, and then we're going to move on to the next part of the agenda.
Right, we keep saying about the precept money that you're paying for the water park. The water park is still going to belong to Hemsworth Town Council and is still going to be maintained by Hemsworth Town Council. The bit that we're talking about now is the cafe.
Can I just jump in? Which is still owned by Hemsworth Town Council.
Yes.
We're renting it out.
So,
But you've still got to maintain.
no,
100%.
no,
Jed, is that the cafe and bar or just the cafe?
It's the whole, everything inside the green fence upwards, with the exception of the beach bar
So with the sale of alcohol?
and playbook. Yes. So it's licensing. We don't have to license it. We don't have to insure it. There's cleaners we've got in there that we can redistribute and save we'll save £10,000 a year on cleaners.
and also,
£10,000 on cleaners.
and also, the electric and the gas
It's not ours.
and all the hiring of the coffee machines, etc., etc. Anybody looking at the accounts know how much the Lakeside Cafe is costing us to run. At a loss. At a loss. No matter what you keep, Ian's done his little figures for July. He's not done his figures for January, February, March, April.
They did cafe.
Can I also interject there, Kathy, that this tender will not lose any, due to this tender there will be no job losses, but by that means it also means that during the summer, as you know, the cafe bar spends a considerable amount of money hiring seasonal staff. That will now not be our issue. That will be the person who's got this facility.
You'll still have £266,000 to find for wages for them. Sorry, yeah.
No.
But you said you were going to do the redeployed staff.
Yes. We do make money.
We just
So-
said we don't have money.
Where do you get £200,000 from?
Fix it clerk. Fix it clerk.
So the jobs affected would not come to nowhere near £200,000.
Wages for water park.
So water park, so when,
Pay for them.
yes, right, so let me clear this confusion up. When you get your stuff in the reports, the water park staff is paid for, budgeted separately. The lakeside is done separately. We have the water park staff to pay for anyway. We will not have staff to pay for seasonals, and the staff there will be redeployed within the council. As I've just said, we pay Wakefield around £10,000 to clean here and the Fitzwilliam Centre. Down there we have 2 staff we employ to do the cleaning. They can be redeployed here and down there. And I've already spoken to before people jump in, and they're happy to do that. That means we don't need a contract with Wakefield. So there's another roughly £10,000 that we can spend elsewhere. So I'm going to go to Ian, and then we're going to move on to the next items of the agenda.
The original tender that went out, the terms and conditions that went out to whoever wanted them, there's only one tender came back, isn't there?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes, no, I know so. We all know so. You're asking me questions that you know the answer
Yeah,
to.
I do know the
That
answer,
seems
but the
ridiculous.
public don't know the answer, so that's why I'm asking the chair.
I'm surprised
to tell people.
because enough comes out of exclusion.
Sorry?
I'm surprised because enough comes out of exclusion.
Yeah, we'll go with accusation.
From me?
I didn't say you. I didn't say anyone.
No, right, okay. When that tender application came back, was there anything changed in it? Did it come back as it went out?
I don't know. So that would be interfering with the council business. The councillors do not get involved in should not get involved in day-to-day business. The clerk was given a job to put out a tender. The clerk put it out. The clerk has brought it back.
But the tender wasn't good enough.
Why wasn't it good enough?
The terms and conditions for that tender, and we're sticking up for the tender. They're not right. You said here that the tender's going to pay for gas and electric, but we're still using gas and electric. Are we going to pay for our gas and electric? You're still using electric for plywood, which is like.
They'll be on separate boxes.
Are they?
Well, they're not. I don't know. Because that's they're running and we don't get involved in that, do we? Right. Well. They're on separate boxes. Scott, would you like to please, the person who works for the council, would you like to answer if on separate boxes or not?
Don't mention
I showed
names.
someone round the other day regarding something, and he went in and had a look at, 3 or 4 different boxes in there.
Thank you.
Separate stuff.
Oh yes, they are. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, there's other items, so that's item 1 discussed. We're just going around in circles now. There seems to be a lot of non-members of public speaking, so let's move on.
I think we should just ask how many people are actually interested then.
Just a show of hands.
Just a show of hands.
Just a show of hands who is in support of the tender process as a parishioner.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
And just as a show of hands, could we see who's against it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I think it's
Let me
guys.
just start again.
That's
1, 2,
not gonna be
3,
right.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.
There we go. Thank you very much. You've just got a vote, would you? No? Can we, my intention not to put it out to public consultation. I think there's enough feeling here that people turn up. What numbers?
25 to 8. Yeah, 25 to 8.
It's what you call on one side, sorry. So shall we move on? Item number 2, transparency. Sorry, yes, transparency. Got my readers on. The council is supposed to be open and transparent, and yet, this is somebody else's version. More and more agenda items are discussed in exclusion of the public. No minutes of any meetings are being published. No finances are being published. The council are taking significant decisions which are obviously in the public interest without public consultation. So we've just discussed the tender. Do you want to see we talk about, oh, I can't, sorry, we're not talking about, outstanding objections submitted to the external auditor, which are in the public interest. And the council overspent £266,000 in 2023-24 and have provided the public or the council with no investigation or written report as to what has occurred. Yeah. So, would like to start on this? You can, Donna.
And are subject to a lot of use online as well. Can we just in this part of the meeting refrain from referring to staff and refrain from listening to anecdotes and speculations? One person's speculation is another person's nonsense.
Yes. Okay. So with that in mind, does anybody like to start?
Can I ask when last time finances were actually published?
Again, I'm not too sure of that. I've got
April last year, April this year.
But that's because they've been disputed, and they can't be published or disputed.
No minutes or finances are being published because every meeting that I attended, you've all disagreed and won't actually sign them off. So that's why they're not being. That's why they're not being published. Is because someone's always objecting to them. So until they can come to some agreement, they will never be published.
What we'll also say as well, Kathy, is it's happened quite a few times, and there's been mistakes, I'm not denying it has. Those mistakes have clearly been spotted before, yet the person decides to bring it up in public. Why can't we just email the clerk and say, you've missed this, or what about this? Rather than waiting to bring it up in public. What's the reason behind it?
Questions are sent in, Sean.
Not saying that, I'm saying with right.
Questions are sent in, and when they're not there for a meeting, then we should get ready for public.
I agree with it, 100%. All public.
We did not get last meeting we were on minutes and finances forgot to be sent out, so we have to defer them.
100% agree. What I'm saying is, that must have been spotted before the meeting. So why didn't you just phone up and say, you've missed this up?
When did we get minutes?
7 days before. We got the thing 7 days before. What I will say is, regarding that area, we are extremely understaffed. Hopefully things will be improving shortly, and there will then be a programme. I'm going to arrange to meet the clerk next week, I think it is, and we're going to put a programme in place to get things updated and see how we can do things and get them done in a timely manner. We're just discussing, there is some of the finance that have been published but have been put into 2023 folder. We're just going to find up to when. So this thing's there in the wrong folder, but we're hoping that will be resolved.
And there are some minutes up there in the 2020.
Some minutes in 2023 again, we will go through them and we'll try and get them into the right. Yeah.
So how can we vote on them when we know that it's wrong folder?
Sorry, can you, people speak on the other end, I'll come back.
You just cherry pick.
Can you just, we'll come back to you, I've come back to everybody. So can you please let the people speak who are speaking? Donna?
From my understanding, when I was on council, it does take a while to get the company that runs the website to update it. It is just a bit of a problem, but they're on there, the public.
I think we'll send the minutes, so.
So yes, we know there are issues, we're well aware there are issues. As I say, the clerk's been on his own. And obviously he's had some support, but not the full support he should have. But that support then meant that other work was... One person only one job at once is what I'm trying to say. So, That's that. Any other questions? What I can just say is that, as this meeting says, a member of the public did put some objections in. It wasn't hidden. What I can say, and I got this myself just as I was coming home from work, is that Little John's have got back in touch with the council, but all they have done is acknowledge receipt. They have not looked into it yet, and they have not started investigating it. What I will say is that the last time that was done, they charged last time £485 an hour. So it's going to be
£800 exactly what they intended spending on.
last time. So this is going to be which is what it is, and that is people. It is people, but what I will say is people.
You just said you can't speculate.
Hang on, no,
you're
not speculating.
You are.
What I will say, and if you let me finish, it is people's prerogative if they disagree to do this. So I'm not saying you shouldn't be doing it. You're fully entitled to do that. Kevin, you want to ask something?
Yes, you keep saying the reason why they're not printed or published is because we keep disagreeing with them. You've just admitted.
We don't move them,
yeah. Well, you've just admitted there that there's something in wrong folder. You don't expect us to vote for it if it's in wrong folder, or if we see that something's wrong.
No, you don't.
You still want us to vote.
You'll get it in email. You don't get it on the folder. We're saying for the public to go look, it's in the wrong folder.
Thank you. How many times have they emailed in and said, sorry, clerk, I haven't got that information?
Oh, no, you
Not you would, because I've done it twice and you accused me of bullying him because I did it twice. So I've had to start emailing him for requests.
There's a way of emailing and speaking to people. That's all I'm going to say on that matter.
What?
So Jason, I think you're
cherry picking all the time. Want to have to speculate how much it's going to cost?
It cost £385 last time per hour.
Well, the council should have its act together then. So
it's going to cost about £10 grand.
No,
how do you know?
I don't think it's that much. That's a
What
speculation.
have you done as a council to resolve it?
Right, ladies and gentlemen, as a council to resolve it, I will go through the timeline here and have that in there. These are facts. The dates might be slightly wrong, might be a day or two out. So, I was on holiday, came back the 1st of August, right? To the draft of emails. Some emails, the other things I didn't answer while I was on holiday. So, it was regarding a parishioner who had put in objections, or who go to have a meeting with the clerk and some councillors regarding objections.
A councillor and a vice chair had a meeting with.
Yes, because as I just said, I was in Canada, I couldn't have come when I weren't here. And it's a bit hard for everybody, to be fair. So, I was told, so this meeting happened. I was then told by Councillor McGuinness and Councillor Whitehead that if we held a meeting to discuss the AGAR report, the complainants would withdraw their objections from Little John's. No, I was told they wouldn't put them in. Which sort of seems like intimidation to councillors trying to threaten them. But, there you go. Then I'm told we all meeting, so that. So Councillor Rushmore called for an extraordinary meeting, which she did. And then it was seconded by councillors. I was accusing it was me who seconded it. I didn't second it, but a lot no didn't. But other councillors seconded it. So I was told, which I did, to seek advice. As the clerk was on holiday at the time, I did seek advice from other people that I know who have experience in that from up North Yorkshire and other areas. On the 5th, I think it was the 5th, right, or the 4th, we've not had a chance to check, an email came through from a parishioner, me copied into Little John saying that they had objections, and I got an email back from Little John replied saying, confirming receipt, right? So I then spoke to the clerk, he says, well, what's the point of holding the meeting to discuss it? They're going to investigate anyway. I had a discussion then with Councillor Whitehead there, and she asked me, I said, well, what's the point? You know, it's going to be investigated. We're going to get charged, it's going to be investigated. Why spend time looking into it? Councillor Whitehead then did say to me that no, that's not the case, because it was still withdrawn.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Look at your recording, because you did.
I'll look at my recording.
I mean, these are not exact words.
Yeah.
You did say, ask Andrew, ask Andrew, ask Andrew.
What got said and to clarify what you've been told.
So,
I've got it back right.
Correct.
So, on the 5th email to Little John saying we had objections to Little John, yes. Me a week later, Councillor Whitehead, as we just discussed there, with the clerk. So I spoke to the clerk and he says an objection can't be withdrawn, it's in. That's it. I think Becca was there at the time. Becca says, well, what's the point of an extraordinary meeting? I'll withdraw it. So the meeting was withdrawn by the person who put the meeting in. At that time, Councillor McGuinness requested a meeting, another one discussing the same items. So we agreed to do a meeting. Councillor McGuinness suggested a date, which he did. However, there's already been an extraordinary meeting arranged for the day after. So to save money, to save on staff, the clerk asked us, says, yeah, might as well have the same day. Councillor McGuinness then, for his reasons which were legitimate, he cancelled that meeting, he rescinded that meeting. And that's where we are today. No, you yourself, you wrote to the clerk.
I never cancelled it. I called for the meeting on the 9th of September.
Yes.
Because I was on holiday on the 10th. The person that called an extraordinary meeting
Does not.
has the privilege of naming the date and the time of that meeting. And that's what I did.
They have
The
it.
clerk may have forgotten that I was on holiday, but you knew a couple of weeks beforehand that I was on holiday.
I'm sorry, I don't keep track of every rule when you make. You may have told, you did tell me holiday, I don't remember the date. And while you do have the option to request when the meeting is, it is up to the chair or when that meeting is. It's like today's this meeting, we could have had this on a different day.
I disagree.
You may disagree, but legally, that's how it happens.
It's got a right to call a meeting and it can name and date it.
It can request a date.
That comes from the clerk.
It can request a date, but we can change it. Jason, you read down quite well, please.
Yes, I'm Jason, I'm from Kimberley. Sat here listening tonight and I come from council meetings and I don't take sides with anything. You know, everyone's got their own views. But I think what's clear to the general public is that the council aren't representing us as public at the minute. They're fighting between themselves. And
I'm agreeing with you to a point, yeah.
And while people will have the views that they want to represent the public, there's a lot of tit-tat, a lot of backwards and forwards. I'll get one on you, you get one on me. And as the public, I think we deserve better. And that, you know, whether you get on with each other, whether you like each other or not, whatever political party you're assigned to, you should all make an effort to actually do what's right for the area.
100% agree. Can I just point out when there was, I mean, I don't like saying majority on the side because you're right, we shouldn't be on sides. We can agree and disagree, there shouldn't be sides. However, when there wasn't a majority on the other side, we didn't try and stop council. We didn't try and stop motions. We didn't agree with something, we didn't agree with voted. End of, done with. We didn't try to stop the day-to-day running, which is what, in my opinion, seems to be happening now. I said this other day, and people said, oh, it's recorded. I'll say it again. There is a group of councillors, in my opinion, who are not interested. They've got their own agenda, and for whatever reason, because they want to split away, in my opinion, they are trying to bankrupt this council. And that's my opinion. And I'm allowed my opinion. When Carol can laugh in there, I'm allowed to say my opinion. Without legal redress as well. And I've also, sorry Jason, it's also recorded on the visual meeting, I've ensure it does get posted.
But with great respect, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That response you've just given, and I respect you highly, and I understand where you're coming from, but that response you've given as a chair is exactly what...
So this is a parish meeting. I want all councillors to work. You don't agree. I don't mind people not agreeing with me. I just want it done in a respectful way that's best for the community. And we can have different views on what's the best for the community. But to hold secret groups where they want public to start with, where they are trying to split from the council, is that the best interest of this company? In my opinion, no. You've even got Hemsworth councillors wanting to split from this council. Is that the best interest of their public? Go and ask the public, go and ask their parishioners in their wards, because they don't want to split, but these councillors are saying yes they do.
And they have a Facebook page. Another public consultation needed split. And we don't want to...
Okay, so that was the first thing. I'll come back on something at the end with that. There's a lot of talk about transparency, exclusion, things like that. Sitting here and listening at most the way things come across, there does seem to be the clerk is clearly under pressure with his workload, you know, and he involved in that, which it sounds like there's something happening in the background staffing wise to do that, but that's certainly not helping.
No, it's not helping. It's not helping the amount of, how do I say it? Basically calls he gets and the tit for tat he gets from people. He does get it, and he shouldn't. In all of this as well, the clerk has to stay independent. He cannot take sides. So he has to listen to one bit, then listen to another bit. I've actually instructed the clerk that if he comes in on a weekend and there's a massive email chain, ignore it because you can't make heads or tails on what it's about. Because it goes all around houses and up and down and all things you're putting in. So since you'll not make any sense of it, don't bother reading it. Because you can't do it.
Okay, and then I don't believe anything's intentionally done wrong within the council from any of the councillors, no matter which
No, I agree.
side they sit on. However, I do think at times the information that's given to the public and the way things are done aren't right. And I'm going to give an example, and I'm party to this example, and that's Club Terrace. Because Club Terrace went out 10 or 18 months ago. Tenders came in, and it was March. It was too close for the previous council to make judgment on it. And there was a EGM put forward to try and push it through prior to that council going. And it turned out to not give enough notice, so it wasn't voted in, which was right. It shouldn't have been, and that they shouldn't have made the decision. The new council came in, and at the first meeting, they deferred the decision because they wanted to get further understanding, and this is their words, further understanding, and go out for public consultation to see what the public actually wanted to do with that land, whether they wanted to sell it or not. That public consultation never happened. Okay? So the public consultation didn't happen. We then had questions for the next 2 meetings as to what was happening with the land, and again, defer. So at that point, nothing should have been decided with that land, and it should have carried on being either deferred or a decision made. It then got no further than that under that previous council. They were talking about putting it out for affordable housing sites, which Stan mentioned in one of the meetings, and I gave my views to Stan, which were, I didn't agree with it, but at the end of the day, Stan was the chair at the time, and it's the chair's decision and the council's decision as to what to do. Then nothing. We heard nothing. The new council came in, and questions were asked.
Sorry, you mean new council, you mean...
Sorry, new chair.
Yeah, I'm trying to work it out for that, yeah.
New chair came in, obviously, yourself, and I asked the question in a meeting, where were we up to? And I got told that no decisions had been made, nobody had been spoken to, and that it had gone back out for tender.
And I'd explain it to you afterwards that I was...
I'm coming on to it. I got told it had gone back out to tender in January, and that the new tenders had been received, and that you were looking at those tenders. To which I said, well, as a tenderer myself, I'd not been asked to re-tender, so I was a little bit confused. You was then away for the following meeting, and Becky was standing in as chair, and Beth, I'm sure that's the case, wasn't it?
I've not missed no council meetings.
So was it a finance meeting?
Finance meeting.
Sorry, apologies.
But yeah,
so I asked the question at a finance meeting as to where we were, because I spoke to some of the housing developers who had told me they had actual direct conversations regarding the plan, and it's been processed further than the tender process.
Do you know when the conversations were?
Well, I'll go on to that. But essentially, that conversations had happened between the agent and the developer on the instruction of the council. So I then asked if I could, I'd asked Becky what was happening, and I got told that it had not gone back out for re-tender, so there'd been conflicting information.
Yep.
At which point I asked if I could meet with yourself and other councillors, because I wanted to express my concerns as a parishioner and also a developer that had put a tender forward for that land. So I came and met with yourself, I think Vicky, and Ian as well. And I put my issues forward and told you that the information I'd been given, which hopefully you've had confirmation that that was all correct, that what I'd said is true, that conversation was ongoing. There was a single developer based on conversations with the council and what they'd asked for. Yet, since Stan was the chair, then yourself was the chair, at every single town council meeting, the public's been told we've done nothing further. We got told public consultation. We never saw public consultation. So, I don't genuinely believe anything's been done wrong with this deal. I believe you've put it out to tender. I believe you've got offers back, and the agents advised, or you've decided which tender you want to go with. But my point is for 18 months, we've been told nothing's happening. We're going to go to public consultation. We're not talking to anybody. And then all of a sudden, at the last meeting, you had the agent in, and then you confirmed that you was in ongoing conversations with an individual party. So, can you see where transparency looks like it's not happening?
I agree, and again, a lot of what you discussed was pre-me coming to the council, and I did give you when I did say I was wrong, and I come to you and says, I messed up, I was wrong in what I said. That's what I believed at the time, but I was wrong. I found out the truth. Again, you'll be, as a businessman yourself, you'll be aware there's a lot you can't discuss.
I'm more than aware of that.
Yeah.
But tell me why, for the last 6 to 9 months in council meetings, when it's been brought up, and I've asked most meetings, and if I haven't, somebody else has, Julie has, or somebody has, can you tell me why nobody in the council, nor the clerk, who's been engaged in conversations with the agent, has actually stood up and said, yes, we're talking to somebody, because that's not in breach of any procurement rules, that's not in breach of any tender rules. So every member of the council has sat there,
So
and the clerk.
I can tell you exactly what. So when I come onto council, before I was the chair, we was aware of nothing. That's wrong. There was a vote that come to the council around November, I think it was, regarding do we go down a route of predominantly social housing. That was voted on by council. I think it was not a majority vote. It was majority one. It was a clear vote.
Was that in exclusion?
That was in it.
Did that ever get published?
I wouldn't know. You'd have to ask the people who was the chairman at the time.
I've never seen it documented in any minute.
So regarding what you've just said, so yes, you're right. The previous council, let's call them the independent council. The independent council did defer because they felt it wasn't right and other issues put in the council. This council then deferred on their first meeting because, again, rightly so. There's a lot of stuff for us to learn here. We're new to it. Totally agree. To walk in as new councillors and have all this complex issue, you can't get your head around it. Totally agree. Suddenly, November, it comes to us. We knew nothing about it till then. Yeah. So that's where we're at. So when I become to the chair, there's a lot of stuff to do. I then emailed, I emailed Andrew Ellis while I was still not the chair, asking, because we'd asked several times as councillors to have a meeting with Andrew Ellis, and I got told by the then clerk that, Andrew Ellis can't come. I emailed Andrew Ellis direct because I had his email from the previous time, and Andrew Ellis quite rightly replied, I'm sorry, I cannot discuss with you, I want to discuss with the chair. 100% correct. So when I got the chair, I had a conversation with Andrew Ellis, and I just said, there's a lot to do, just continue with what you're doing for now. And then when you've got some news, come back. And then he come back and we had the extra meeting.
Can I ask that? So earlier on we got told that councillors aren't meant to be involved in day-to-day running of the council, and that it should be the clerk.
Yes.
Assets are day-to-day running of the council, so why is it not the clerk that's having a conversation with Andrew Ellis and not the chair?
The chair will have access. Maxine, you want to come in there? Sorry, I'm just conscious of getting other people's questions. The chair is allowed to, with the clerk, and discuss things.
Can you clarify that, because the chair is not allowed to have hold meetings with developers without proper full council and proper consultation. So can you clarify that again, because we just
He is not allowed to have. He's not allowed to make decisions and that sort of thing, and have discussions and
without councillors knowing.
without council knowledge. You are correct there.
So why was these decisions made without councillors
You have to ask the
knowing?
people at the time. So I'll ask to continue, and then as soon as the clerk, as soon as the
Anybody interested in the truth?
hang on, I'm just as soon as the
There's no truth.
as soon as the go on, the gentleman from Sanderson as well and all, as soon as he got some information, he come now. He didn't want more information. He will be getting more information, and we'll bring that again. But again, because that is business sensitive, that will have to be an exclusion. I'm sorry, Stan, would you like to interject?
I certainly would. I'd certainly like to clear up a hell of a lot. Jason, you're quite right in a lot of things, but not quite the story. The first off is, the other council didn't defer the sale. They tried to push it in the last 3 days of being office.
No,
Yeah.
they did not.
They did because they didn't fill in it was ruled
Chair,
out
let him
to
speak.
sell it
Let him speak,
because
Chair.
the agenda was not done properly. Yeah.
Chair, let him speak. Interruptions, you stop everybody else.
Yeah.
Council were unable to put that through, so they put an EGM forward, exactly what I said.
They did, yes.
And the EGM didn't give sufficient notice, again, what I said.
No.
So that way, yes, they didn't give, they were 1 day short.
No, that's not, that was not the reason the sale was cancelled.
No.
I went to see the monitor officer with Ian. They were too obscure with the agenda. It was not detailed.
The wording wasn't correct.
They didn't put enough detail in the agenda. The clerk at the time said we have to be deliberately early. In other words, let's fool the people.
No, but that was
Sorry, but
That is true.
While we
So
there may
the
be
motion
ex-staff,
not-
excuse me, there may be ex-staff, we still can't speak about them in that way.
I can say what I damn well like. I'm telling the truth.
If there's there's a non-disclosure, sorry Chair, there's a non-disclosure agreement of which you are well aware of, you cannot discuss it.
There's nothing to do with that sale.
But just to be clear, there was 2 issues on the day.
Yeah.
There were a day short on notice.
Yeah.
And the second issue was, the wording was to consider offers, not to vote to accept an offer. So they were unable to take a vote. And that is exactly what I said when I just stood up in part of my story.
Yeah, so that's clear.
Well, it wasn't clear anyway.
They didn't defer the
I
sale.
said it wrong.
Yeah, well, they didn't defer the sale, they tried to sell it that night.
Correct.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Following that, there was a change of councillors. I became the chair, and I said it in public because I was asked about Club Terrace immediately, and I said I'd been in touch with John Trickett, our MP, to look at the possibilities of social housing, selling and that, okay?
And that was going to defer it until you did.
Exactly. And I did promise when we had a proposition to put to the public, there would be public consultation. And I reminded the chair of that when he said that's not going to happen a couple of weeks ago. That I promised the public a consultation on it. Right? It is very highly commercially sensitive at the moment. Right? But the council voted in public meeting to change the terms of sale to social housing, or a strong element to that. That happened in a public meeting. If I'm wrong on that, I'll apologise. Okay. If I'm not, but the council voted for it. We'll put it that way. We'll leave it at that for now. Right. Yes. Right. Now, I did not meet with any contractor, developer, or anybody.
Stan, can I come in there, please, Stan?
No, let me finish.
I'll let you finish, please. I will do.
I did not meet with any developer on any terms at all. Right. But we were approached by a developer in January this year. The council direct. We did arrange a meeting with Andrew Ellis.
Can I ask who knew about that meeting?
The clerks, both clerks were there.
Sorry, who wasn't?
Am I telling the story? You can dispute it afterwards.
You can tell your story, I can give facts.
Which is my recollection of it. If somebody wasn't there, I'll throw one. The clerks were there. I didn't meet them.
It's speculation, so it's all lies.
I'm telling you the truth. The council in exclusion was updated on where we were at on 2 occasions.
Can you tell us roughly the exact dates? Can you tell us dates?
This current chair did not write to Sanderson Weatherall to find things out. He interfered in that process in January. He wrote to them and tried to arrange a meeting because he tried to scupper the deal if he wanted to sell it for cash.
Again, you're wrong there.
You stated that.
I emailed, right, Stan, I've got the emails I can show you.
You contacted Sanderson Weatherall in January this year.
I contacted Sanderson Weatherall in January this year.
You have no right to do that.
Because
you said yourself, council should not interfere in processes, and you did.
Listen.
And you didn't consult the chair, the clerk either.
Listen, right. So, before I was the chair, we asked several times for a meeting with Sanderson Weatherall. We kept getting told, oh, he's not coming back to us, he's not coming back to us.
No,
he's not.
Didn't get told that.
Excuse me.
He was told.
I've got the emails from the then clerk. Then, it is getting daft. I was thinking that, actually, what's the point? I've got the emails, I've got the
Point
proof.
scoring, cherry picking.
Your point exactly.
Because we're actually getting to understand what's going on.
Yes.
You're absolutely right. This council is a heat of the strokes.
You just said, and correct me if I'm wrong, the developer approached the council direct.
Yes. But I can guess who that was.
Right, in January.
Yes.
And that you continued conversations with that developer.
Yes.
I hope you've got plenty of reserves for court case.
I don't believe what he just said is true.
Wow.
As I said, I believe that there is certain pieces of this council trying to bankrupt it. End of. So I'm conscious. I'm
split right down the middle, and I've got a proposition. Every councillor in this place, every councillor should resign and not stand for election again, and let's have a new council.
Oh, listen.
That's what you need.
So you're admitting that you're corrupt too, Stan?
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we have literally got 2 minutes. I'll let you come in then, Kevin, and we're done.
Right.
So all I'm going to ask is, the last council meeting, he told us that Sanderson Weatherall were going to continue conversations with somebody that attended for the land. We have just been told by a councillor who has had conversations outside of that process with a developer who has approached the council direct, which is in breach of that tender process.
I don't know if any of that is
breach of
true.
the council's process themselves.
If that is true, I do not know. What I can say is, I have not.
In January. You've not told the public.
It just seems to me here that the ones doing the accusing are actually the ones who are not. Kev, would you like to come in on that?
Yes, going back to transparency and Little John's. Right? The parishioner who brought it in my opinion, needs a round of applause because they have highlighted a problem what you admitted existed before.
I didn't admit it existed, and what I will say is anybody's allowed to do that.
You said it cost a certain amount before, so obviously it existed before.
Years ago.
Yeah. Now this parishioner has noticed again that this council has failed.
This is the parishioner's opinion. It may be proved to be right, it may be proved to be wrong. Right. This is the parishioner's opinion. Until we get the facts, we cannot respond.
Right, but the point is that parishioner rang the clerk to speak to loads and loads of times. He was fobbed off loads and loads of times.
This is going to be my last. This is literally going to be my last comment. So no, it's obviously my last comment after this. It's past, and that means 90 minutes long. I can tell you this for a fact. Generally, the books are open for viewing. Yeah. There was an unusual amount of time allowed for that person to look through the books. Very unusual. What usually happens is it's usually a day, and if there's any questions to be asked, it'll be done then. Not somebody who writes down 9 or 10 days and says, I want to see you one of those days, and we'll discuss certain ones after. End of. The meeting's closed. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
The point is that prison has not cost this council money. It's the council's failings.
No, we pay now.
Yeah, but that's not the prisoner's fault.
I've said
but you're allowing these people to condemn her, even speculating how much it's going to cost.
It's not a speculation. It's going to cost around £40.
Yeah, but that's not the prisoner's fault. She's highlighted problems.
I said that.
You didn't. You sat there and basically let him ridicule her.
Watch the video.
Why would the video be on?
Kevin, I said that it is a parishioner's right to do that if they've got issues. And that's all I've said. I haven't said you shouldn't do it.
You said it cost money before, then it's going to cost a lot more.
Money.
Yeah, but that's not the policeman's fault. That's
I'm
your
not
fault
saying
as
it
a
was.
council.
I'm not saying it was. Don't get back another way. You'll get accused of.
I'm accusing nothing. There you go again. You didn't see it.
I'll be taken to court.
Right, sorry, hang on, that is.